is June 12th, 2026. Of course, the extortion ring showed up again today. I went ahead and emailed the chief of police of Portage County. They're trying to frame him too, saying that he's letting people be drugged, being raped in his home. My God, he is not. They're lying on everybody. Okay? What is a jail sentence for police or agents allowing an attorney to set up button cameras in a private home, stalking someone? It's 5 to 20 years. No one can take your rights away. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements and a court order. That's it. Well, I sent them the law of if an FBI agent tells an informant if they say anything, they don't get any money, it's 20 years. It's blackmail. What is a jail sentence for a judge? If they would sign such an order, same thing. What is the jail sentence for an FBI agent? If he tells an informant if they say anything, they won't have help. It's 20 to life. It's attempted murder, aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction, tampering. Can't do any of this. What is a jail sentence for an attorney if a husband hires him to set up button cameras in a home? Stalking his wife without her knowledge or consent. Disbarment, 5 to 20 years. What is a jail sentence for an attorney if a husband hires them to set up button cameras in a private home, stalking his wife without her knowledge or consent, taping in bathrooms, photoshopping, and washing? Breaking in, drugging her for fake confessions, and having her drug being raped under drugs. Life imprisonment. And up to several life sentences. They can't do any of this. Okay? Well, people have been running around saying my lying ex-daughter-in-law, and I told you how many times she was taped saying her and the kids saying they were lying for Auntie Shaw to get the house, and they're documenting me jokes. Okay? Nobody ever got hurt. Like they said, why are they having those kids make that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her into giving up the house. That's it. Her whole family speaking highly of her. Melissa's so stupid she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid she didn't check where you were. January 12th, 22 at noon, or actually 4:55 p.m., Officer John stopped men at the door where those kids get taped stating they made everything up. Like the Massillon police said, they're documenting me games of pretend. She never heard anyone. Stark County Sheriff's made fun of some guy named Kurt. If he just found out those kids were lying in May of 21 when they got taped on Thanksgiving of 18 that they were lying for Auntie Shaw and Papa to get the house. And they were games of pretending. They call them slow. They have called her out for lying, her and her kids, even in front of my clients, October 5th, 21. And they're like, who's that crazy Melissa? They're all talking about lying everywhere we go. I said the ex-daughter-in-law friends with the ex's girlfriend had the kids make up mean games of pretend in front of the police. He's like, is she crazy? I said, yes. He said, they're still talking about that girl lying everywhere we go. And I can keep going on and on of the law enforcement knowing they're documenting me jokes. Okay? Nobody ever got hurt. Matter of fact, I told you where the two big guys said they worked for a drug lord. Melissa was willing to help him get away with it. Okay? She was willing to have the kids lie. You're kidding. No, I talked to her. She's going to have them say, and they're laughing. Well, the feds and the police want to know what was. Followed them around. Melissa telling the kids to lie, and on Thanksgiving of 18, they were taped saying they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. And they wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa. Okay? Nobody went to the hospital. Like those guys showed up, the ones that said that they work for a drug lord. We got a real problem. Nobody ever got hurt. What are we going to do with it? Nobody's ever got hurt. Oh, why don't we wait and say that she took him to a psychiatrist later? Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. By federal law, if someone comes in and claims they were harmed, what do the doctors have to do? They have to call the police. What would the police tell them? They're documenting mean jokes. She's trying to scare her into giving up her house. Why is she abusing her children by having them pretend something's wrong with them? Because it's considered abuse. If you have your children pretend something happened to them and it didn't, trying to get someone in trouble or extort money is 20 years. Where Officer Mark said Melissa could go to jail for this. Okay? I'd hate to arrest her. Her kids are little. Why don't we just write it up that her and the kids were showing off for Dave and his girlfriend? They're documenting me jokes. Massillon Police in June 23rd to July 4th of 21. These people were stalking me so bad. I went to Mount Carmel, Illinois. They were talking about Melissa lying in Kentucky and Illinois when I first pulled in. I went into Mount Carmel, Illinois. I went to a gas station, and that drug dealer, Eric, that laughed at everybody November 18th, 22, all the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people to turn on and they fell for it. Okay, he's still trying to pull a scam in 21. I pull in and people's phones are going off around me. Eric, you said what? Eric, you said what? People were calling me names. The woman that almost died to save her family helped the FBI get thousands. They saved hundreds. While I was being abused, they got surveillance on those people. They're calling me a bad word because a drug dealer lied to them. It's that bad. A drug dealer lied to them. You know, some of the girls in the cartel, they even told people, are you crazy being mean to her? You're mean to her after what she's lived through? She'll blow. Oh, I blew up in the car. Started screaming down the street where people walk by, we don't want you in our town. The woman that almost died to save everyone. Because a drug dealer lied to him. I lost it. You don't want me in your fucking shit-ass town? I'll leave in the morning. But if you don't believe I'm innocent, call the Massillon police. Called out their number. Whole street went quiet. A guy, a couple minutes later, they said they're documenting me games of pretend. She never hurt anyone. 2 federal agents, March 23rd, 23, told people in Walmart, we told these people, stay out of it. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. And some lady thought she could make money out of it. Okay? All right. So, people had talked about in 18, they were going to set her up a GoFundMe page. For what? For lying? Well, now people are saying she's got all kinds of money. You can't extort money out of society on lies. If she has any money, those 2 guys that work for the drug lord, she got cartel money. Or she has a fake GoFundMe page and she is extorting money out of society under fraud. The police need to check her bank accounts, and if she has 1 dime that she didn't earn, wasn't a birthday gift or Christmas gift, they need to seize her accounts and throw her ass in jail. Where they wrote it up that they were just showing off. It's one thing when you're a bitch and you're just showing off with a new girlfriend. And there's another thing when you're extorting money out of society under fraud, or you're accepting money from the drug cartel to help them pull a scam. Those are federal crimes. Okay? Today in McDonald's on 62, Carl and I pull in. He went in the bathroom. He didn't come out for a while. I was starting to get worried about him. I, ordered us a drink and him some nuggets. And there's some idiots in there. We're not allowed to say anything when she's out with her husband. Say something, bitch. You think you're so big and badass being an extortion group? We all know they set up accounts for Melissa. You want a witness against her? That she's extorting money out of people under fraud? You go to jail like 20 to life for that. You better be lying on her. You better be lying on her, because the police and the FBI need to check her accounts, because she's documented mean jokes, showing off her girlfriend. That's it. Idiots. Because what is a jail sentence? For an attorney hired by a husband to set up on camera stalking his wife in a private home. 5 to 20 years disbarment. You're also listed as a sex offender. What is the jail sentence for an attorney hired by a husband to set up button cameras in a home, stalking his wife without her knowledge or consent, taping in the bathroom, Photoshop like washing in the shower in the other room, and having her drugged for fake confessions and being raped under drugs? Several life sentences in prison. These people lied. Oh, the police up there gave permission for them to do it. Okay. What is a jail sentence for police or an agent giving for an attorney to set up button cameras in a home hired by a husband to stalk his wife without knowledge or consent? 5 to 20 years. Under the eyes of the law, no one can take your individual rights away. See, that's where, what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant that they can't say anything or they won't get their money? It is 20 to life in federal. It's blackmail, extortion out of government funds, tampering with a witness, obstruction of justice. Under the eyes of the law, the FBI cannot take your rights away. You have a freedom of speech. Only a judge in a jury trial or grand jury, only while the proceedings are going on, can put a gag order on you. Agents are only hired police officer. And we live in the United States of America where no man can tell you can't say anything. No man. It is illegal for any law enforcement to tell you can't say anything. But a judge in a jury trial or grand jury while the proceedings are going on. Once the trial is over, you can say whatever you want. We live in the United States of America. What is a jail sentence for an agent if he tells an informant if they say anything they won't have assistance and help? It is attempted murder, obstruction to justice, tampering with a witness, and tampering with evidence, aiding and abetting crimes. 20 to life. We can keep going. What is the jail sentence for an FBI agent if he allows people to harm somebody in retaliation? It can go into attempted murder. 20 to life. I notified the FBI today. I even told them where on June 10th, 26, I was out in Alliance at Bob Evans. A couple came in and sat by the window, then another couple. I was waiting for them to say something. They finally did. Some guy was pretty loud. He's like, now my phone is tapped by the police and the FBI. He said those people thought if they had her taped saying everything they wanted, they could enter it in court without her and steal everything. Now, they already admitted they drugged her when they talked to her. She uploaded the law. If you drug someone and you question them, it's pharmaceutical torture, 50 years. Then those people, when people ask them, they laughed that they had drugged her and told her to say it before. They already confessed years ago. And that nobody thought it was funny. We go to go home, and there's a Sheetz on Whipple. Carl was pumping gas. I went in to use the bathroom. I come out. There's men in there. And this tall, thin, white guy, black hair, walks in, dress shirt, walks up to him. Those men said, they said to keep an eye on her. She's ugly and fat. She's not, it's not funny they said that about her. She's not ugly. And she's only got a little weight on her. Who would care? And he said, well, I'm here to clear. He said, I was allowed to watch her because she was weird with herself, the shower scene in the other room. He's part of the extortion group. He's not allowed to watch me. And he said, don't tell anybody I hired you to help. Tell on him. Tell on him. He's just an extortionist. Okay? He said, I'm to clear her that she can go work in an office when we steal everything she's got. See, he's an extortionist. You can't steal everything I got. She filed for disability on her legs years ago. You know, I got to thinking about it. Well, I did. I was going to. Actually, I was going to. I talked to an attorney. He said with the MRIs showing the degenerative joint disease, the swelling, the fluid from falls of the tears in the muscles in my legs, the fluid filled cyst, and the doctors had already suggested, you know, you can go ahead and sign up for Social Security disability so you'll have extra money and that way you'll get a medical card for your legs because we don't know if you'll ever learn to walk again without braces. And you would be, you know, a candidate to get it. Well, I talked to an attorney. He's like, it's a slam dunk. He said with the MRI reports, those doctors' reports of how bad your legs are with the degenerative joint disease, it's a slam dunk. He said we could get you a big settlement and you could have money coming in every month. And when I found out it was medical malpractice, medication errors, making me sick, making the swelling, the heart attacks, seizures, thyroid, adrenal gland shutdown. I told him, I said, before we file and we actually go for a proceeding, I want to see how far I'll get well. We actually didn't file. So where that guy said, where she filed, a psychologist called over and said she's a faker and not to give it to her to the Social Security disability. What is a jail sentence for a doctor to call over to Social Security disability and tell them not to give it to you and call you a faker? It's 10 to 20 years in jail. They are not allowed to interfere with you applying for disability. They would be arrested and they would spend 10 to 20 years in jail. Nobody called over there. I'm the one that stopped it. We actually didn't get the filing in. It's 10 to 20 years. They lied. He's in there lying to those people. I told that attorney, I said, I want you to wait. I want to see how well I get. If all the medicine's causing all this, I want to see how well I get. Now, I was born with my legs where they would call it like pigeon toed. My legs turn in. When I walk, I always said I was born clumsy. My parents, because they were part of a religious occult, didn't take me to doctors that I needed to. I needed to go to orthopedic surgeons when I was small. But I grew up with my feet turned in like this. And when I was little, my dad used to have to take my shoes to shoe cobblers and put plastic taps on them to push my foot back up because I'd wear the whole inside of my shoe out. And so with having degenerative joint disease, any kind of fluid, it just shoves my knee right out of place. Well, my mom said I was born stubborn. Okay, that I was born stubborn. It's a good thing. Over 9 months after I got off the medication, I would take a step, fall on my ass, fall on my face, crawl over to a couch, pull myself up. I learned to walk on numb feet, and I was falling so bad on the MRI report, I couldn't even bend my knee at one point. There was tears along the muscles in my legs because the knees would violently slide out of place. And I learned to walk on numb feet slowly over 9 months as the swelling went down, where they didn't even think I could. My one neighbor, when he was alive, he said, "Karen, do you know you walk with a slight limp?" My house manager said, "You know, your feet are turned in." And I said, "Well, I got degenerative joint disease. My legs have been like this since I was born. But the knees popping out of places from the arthritis. I was born this way." And see, that's where these people mocking me. I had to work to learn balance, and learn to walk over 9 months. And see, that's where doctors had even said that they didn't even think that I would ever learn to walk again without braces hold my knees in place. And, you know, every once in a while my knee will pop out of place. Gotta catch myself so I don't go down. They said to keep exercising, keep the muscles tight around my knees to help hold my knees in place. But that idiot was in there, and he's part of people trying to steal everything from me. They're part of the big extortion rings that President Trump and Vice President Vance are going after, and had ordered the FBI to go after these extortion rings, exploiting people and trying to steal everything from them. I wrote that I did a tip for the FBI of that agent that told on me, bullied me on a recorded line, that they're saying that was him down at the Tuscarawas County Courthouse, September 10th, 25. He had been let go of the FBI within 4 months, a former fired agent. Because when I called looking for him, they said, "Miss Hall, we're so sorry about everything. He is no longer with the FBI, and we're so sorry about everything." Well, I was left in hell. And see, when the case first started, like the first month or so, I walk into Walmart 62. The investigators are off to my left, and I'm right by the hair salon. And this white guy with black hair goes stomping by me, doing like a mean stompy dance, saying crazy crap. And then the drug dealers are off in the distance. And they said now that him and his drama's gone, we can get these people they hired to hurt her. He can deal with his own drama. And others, one saying we don't feed into religious heresy. Well, September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse. Prosecutor's office. There's a guy behind the door. I want her to have nothing when I get done. I want her to hate her husband. And out walks a white man with black hair doing that weird stomp. And I thought, I've seen that weird walk. Where did I see that? I've lived through hell, and that's been almost 8 years. And 7.5 right now. And I thought, where have I seen that? It took me forever. He's the one they call drama. It's him. See, that's where investigators said nobody thought it was funny, a former agent showing up with an opposing attorney trying to get the case surveillance thrown out, and saying that she's the biggest liar, there's no one around her. People had showed up and said he took a payoff, that's why everything happened. They're sending out the recorded line of him bullying her on the phone and then laughing like pure evil. None of this is funny. Judge Lori was talking about there was an office here calling her a liar and that there was no one around her. I had thousands, hundreds at a time, and they had surveillance on all kinds of drug cartels that showed up here in Ohio, and they were taking turns paying for harassment. It's him. What's worse is May 28, 26. I walk in Bob Evans and Fairlawn. There's ladies in there talking. And they said, you know, it would have been something if that agent would have pretended to take a payoff. But unfortunately, he did. Pretending to go along with it. And selling the login to the case with a reverse malware to track the cartel. That would have been a great scam to pull on him. But unfortunately, he's actually this dirty. And it's him running it. It's been him running it the whole time. Which FBI, that has scared the shit out of you if that's real. Because one of your agents in your office working directly for the cartel and taking a payoff, selling them government technology, what else did he sell them? And now he's trying to get this surveillance thrown out. My friend Walter used to work at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office, where the cartel has been running around laughing at me that agent stole my money. He said if the FBI better work swiftly, and very swiftly. They need to call down that courthouse, tell them that your case was legitimate, stand up for it, and that you're one of their informants. You have surveillance of a former agent trying to get our case kicked out. We want it. And they have to pay you. Every informant gets paid. If you work 5 minutes of the case or the whole case. He said, and that seals the deal and makes the case legitimate. If they don't do both those things, he can get it that the FBI was defrauding you. And he can get it thrown out. And all those drug dealers that got arrested, released. And they can sue the government for tens of millions of dollars each. He said the FBI better work swiftly. The FBI, President Trump and Vice President Vance ordered a task force to go after these extortion groups. Ohio was called out. There was 9 people have stolen $1 billion. 41 million from Ohioans. They are part of the big extortion ring across the nation, stealing from people. They have stolen $8 billion from U.S. citizens. They're exploiting people. And they're trying to extort money out of them. These people are so arrogant. They're trying to extort money out of the government. That guy that was in the gas station was part of the extortion ring. You get surveillance to find out who he is. See, that's where, what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he allows a doctor to watch you without your knowledge or consent? 10 to 20 years. No one can, under the eyes of the law, no one can take your rights away. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements and a court order. There's nothing else. Illegal surveillance, illegal monitoring, wiretapping, cyber stalking, voyeurism. These are going into federal crimes. No one's allowed in your home. Like my friend that used to work at the prosecutor's office, is a big fraud scheme where they laugh in your face in front of people in stores. They photoshopped washing in the shower. In the other room, they probably did. It's clicking and pasting. He said, and where you had all the signs of being drugged, beaten, raped. Nobody thought of a rapist. You're going to the doctor for all those injuries and blaming the well water, thinking it's making you sick. Somebody was hurting you, Karen. Somebody was harming you, even though nobody put it together that it was a rapist. Somebody was harming you. He said, and we all know you're sleepwalking with those drugs. It's a big fraud scheme. But Officer Mark, Officer John, you need to get that surveillance. The FBI needs to get the surveillance of that Tuscarawas County Courthouse September 10th, 25. Talk to Judge Lori. Walter had said if they do not work swiftly, and he gets that surveillance thrown out because I was defrauded. He said they need to close the deal of you get paid and they stand up for that case. Because if he says they're just defrauding you, and saying the whole case was fraud, he can get the surveillance thrown out and those drug dealers released. He has to be stopped. And the only way they can stop it is standing up for your case that it was legitimate. And they have to pay you. And then that seals the deal. And then nobody can reopen it again. It was a legal loophole they've been laughing at for years. And people have even said he purposely didn't pay her. He purposely told on her so it looked like they were defrauding her. And you need to check my ex-daughter-in-law Melissa's accounts. If she is stealing money from society on fraud, she needs to be arrested. It's one thing being a show-off and a bitch. And you were very generous letting her go, Officer Mark, where you said she could go to jail for this. I'd hate to arrest her. Her kids are little. We'll just write it up that her and the kids were showing off for Dave and his girlfriend. There's another thing with extorting money from the public under fraud. And there's another thing with taking a payoff for people that work for a drug lord to help run a fraud scheme on the FBI. Those are federal crimes. You need to check her bank accounts. I'm going to go ahead and upload this.